What's up everyone, welcome back for another video. Finally, today we're talking about mods or whatever modifications on an M&P 2.0. Let's get into it. So we are in my garage today because every time I have a chance to go film this video, it is extremely windy out or just really cold. So I haven't been able to get outside to really film the video. I was out yesterday just to get a little bit of shooting footage of the new compensator that I have on the end of this thing, but it was way too windy to just like film any talking. So we're in the garage. So real quick, if you want to support the channel in any way, I guess just hit that like button, subscribe and all that stuff. Follow me on Instagram right here. And then if you want to buy anything, well, I guess this would be the real support of the channel. Just use the Amazon links down below. Affiliate links helps me out, helps you guys out, helps everyone out, and just keeps the channel going. This isn't really going to be a review of the gun considering it is modified like this. I guess basically every part that you can add on to this gun has been added on at this point. So it's not really a review of the gun. It's more about the modifications done to the gun and if I think they're worth it. Some of them definitely not worth it at all. Some of them really worth it. So let's just start talking about them. I'll go down, break down which one I think is good, which one just save your money on and don't do, and we'll just go from there. So these are just going to be some overall thoughts on this gun with about 10,000 rounds on it. Not every single part has that many rounds on it. Like the compensator has maybe about 200 on him. All right, so let's start off with a couple mods that I think you definitely should do depending on which version of this you do get. Then we'll go over a mod that really is not worth it at all. So ones that I think you should do, this is based on which version of this gun you get. If you have the gun that comes with the really curved trigger, you should definitely do an apex trigger on this thing as opposed to keeping it stock with that really weirdly curved one, like curved hinged one. I'll throw in a picture on the screen too of that. I haven't tried out the other version of it, but if you get the gun with the new style trigger, which is kind of like a straight trigger kind of with a little trigger safety thing on it, that one is a good trigger, so don't worry about that. But if you have the old style with the curved trigger, definitely do an apex trigger on it because it is very nice. So first of all, you have your trigger, that's your take up right there, and right there there's virtually no creep after you get there. Then your release, it's very quiet, very nice from what I've heard with these triggers. So there's something with your whole like trigger assembly or whatever. If you hear this release right there, you can barely hear it. So we're gonna do this again now. Pull the trigger. Now, if you watch when I press this side of the mag release in as I do it, as I release, hold on, I'll try to do it together. Here's a lot more audible. So there is some way that you get in there and you adjust something, I think, just to push your like trigger shoe thing over to make it click a little bit more audible click. But really when you're at the range just pulling the trigger, it's not something you're gonna notice. So figure out what you want to do with that one. I don't know if it's worth it one way or the other. Trigger is amazing compared to stock weird hinged one, but just that reset, something about that, there's probably a way to adjust that. Keep that in mind. Then obviously optic mount, they aren't the greatest. Probably should get some sort of other plate just to mount it on there nice and solid so the optic has zero movement. It's not gonna be as good as direct milling for an optic, obviously, but if you get a better plate than this, because you can see there is a little bit of a gap between the front of the optic and your slide. The backside seems to be pretty good. Optic plate would probably be a good choice to go with as opposed to like the stock mounting system. This one is up to you really, is just the light on the front here. So got our light. I have a Streamlight TLR1 HL. You can go Surefire. You can use a Streamlight TLR7, which is the smaller version of it, which I used to have on this pistol. I did switch over to the Streamlight TLR1. I do have a tier 1 MSP holster, and this one has the retention on the light. So I could really take whatever gun I want and it just drops right in, and the retention's on the light, not on the gun. So I actually put in this other random footage of me shooting my staccato from concealment because I just threw this light on that and it works. So do what you want with your holster. Light isn't necessary. Some people will say it's necessary, some people won't say it's necessary. I enjoy having a light on my pistol. It actually helps weigh the front down a little bit more too, and depending how you grip, some people will use it as kind of like a shelf to help mitigate recoil. I kind of run my hand up a little like this, so I don't really need it for that, but puts a little more weight at the end of the gun just to help weigh it down, and supposedly helps with your recoil. Now, one of my actual, I guess, second favorite mods to date, because the trigger is the first one, and the second favorite mod to date would be this Floyd Custom Shop Magwell and base plates for your magazines. Now, with the Floyd Custom Shop Magwell and base plates, you do have to order yours based on if you have the compact or the full size, because I think the full size at the end of the grip has a little like bump out. So you do have to order the right one for your gun. But this one, obviously, like I said before, is a compact. Fits on there nice and firmly, has like this little screw thing back here that kind of like screws it into the back with like the back plate for your grip. As you can see, there's not that much extra on the sides. So it doesn't print that much when you're wearing it because there's not that much base plate. There's not that much magwell sticking out. And then benefit of it, mags just go right in. I have had problems in the past without the magwell that I'll go to insert it and like I kind of like get it at an angle and it kind of just jams there. I'll see if I can find some footage of it. Since I've thrown the magwell in with the base plates, I haven't had that issue. I feel like my reloads are a lot faster with it. Nice, and it just looks really good. I believe you can get them in different colors, but obviously I just want black. Now for the base plate part of it, I do have a quick little, I think there's a short on the channel and I do have a reel on my Instagram. So we'll talk about the base plate quick. So, well, for my magazines, it would be a 15 round magazine. So this is your standard one right here. And then this one is the +2, which makes these 17 rounders, where if you had the full size, it would be 17, would be your regular one, and then +2 would be a 19. For the others, you can get +6s. I got the standard one because I thought that the +2s were gonna be a lot more than this. So this is the standard size, is right there. That's the standard, that's the 15 rounder. And then the 17 round, or the +2, sticks out the same amount. So if you're doing these magwells, just get the +2s, unless you live in a state that doesn't allow you to have freedom, then do what you need to do to get the correct ones. But this is a 17 round magazine from a full size. So as you see, it has the standard base plate on it. It does fit, but you have that little bit sticking out like that. That's your main reason why you have to change the magazine base plates, is because of the shape of this. It won't allow it to get in there with your regular size magazines. All my standard size 15 rounders or whatever all have the base plates on them already. So I can't show you how it looks or attempts to fit with the standard. Since they are metal, you will start getting some little bits of like wear on them and stuff from dropping them on the ground from doing reloads, but just keep that in mind. But overall, probably if I knew from the start, I would have just did +6s on everything, except for the one that was gonna be in the gun while I carry. Then my spare would be a +6. Thinking into the past, if I knew what I know now, that's how it would have been. We will get into the holster in a minute, because we just have to talk about one other mod on this thing. In my opinion, not really worth it, which would be the barrel and the compensator. So barrel is an Apex barrel. Compensator is a Parker Mountain Machine single port comp. Makes the gun look pretty cool-ish. Is it worth it? I don't think so. So just a couple things about this compensator that we're gonna go over real quick, which will give my reasons on why it's not worth it to get this comp. So first thing, let's just go over to the range footage that I have of shooting the M&P compact with the standard barrel, and then we'll move over to the comp just to show the differences. All right, what's up guys? We're at the range doing M&P with the Floyd's Customs Magwell. That's not the main point of this video. The main point is the barrel. So we're doing standard barrel. This is the compact 4-inch barrel. This is the recoil out of this. Not bad. Looking at that footage, you tell me, does it look worth it to add this comp to the end of your gun? This gun isn't a snappy gun to start with, so I feel like it's kind of not worth it to add the comp on. For the extra length, we are flush with the flashlight, so it kind of looks all right. Not a big fan when the comp sticks out a little further than that, so this is pretty much max of what I would want to go. That's problem one, is doesn't really help the recoil. Let's move on to problem two with this compensator. So this one is based on my holster. So once again, this is the tier 1 MSP holster. Retention is on the light. So you need this light. You can get it for the Surefire X300. I feel like they do like one or two other ones maybe. But if you look here, you see the comp sticks out ever so slightly from the end of the holster. So you see the comp sticking out from the end of the holster and you think, hey, that's not a big deal, which most of the time it is not a big deal, whatever, that little bit. But the first time I put this on the gun, I went to the range and I made sure to shoot a bunch of rounds at it to make sure we didn't get any malfunction between the barrel and the comp, which we didn't have to change like recoil springs or anything like that. So we just wanted to make sure, send a bunch of rounds down range. This compensator got pretty hot. Then to add that it's sticking out the end of the holster that little bit, and then on top of it, it's down my pants in the front, touches some things. Does not feel good. But it's not that big of an issue because not all the time I'm going to the range and shooting a bunch of rounds all at once. But if you're just sending rounds one after another, that comp is getting pretty warm. Only that situation with this holster right now. If this holster was just a little bit longer, it wouldn't be a big problem. And like I said, if you're not shooting that many rounds all at once, it's not that big of a problem. But it is a problem sometimes. Then the third reason that I'm not completely crazy about this compensator, other than the other two that I just mentioned, the one that like it doesn't really do much, and then the second like sticks out of the holster, but not a big deal with the holster. Third reason is, make sure it's clear, you can take it out of battery by pressing the comp here. Say this was a defensive situation, someone's on top of you. I know it might sound a little ridiculous, could happen, who knows? I don't know. Do you know how it's gonna happen? Hopefully it never happens. But if it does, this is an issue. See that little bit of slide movement right there? Now you're out of battery. So that is an issue. Might not be a huge issue. Might not be an issue ever. I don't think anyone's goal is to ever have to actually use this in a defensive situation. But that is a thing where just pushing that against, it can take your slide out of battery. So you can see where the slide ends right there, right? So in between there, look how much flashlight you have sticking out. So if you have that issue, you would have to really have a lot of angle to take your slide out of battery in a situation like that. Like I said, this probably, hopefully, and probably will never happen, but it is a thing to think of. So the mods I would definitely do again, Magwell, trigger, and then obviously optic and light. Gonna leave this guy off here. Definitely not needed. Barrel and comp. Maybe you could do the threaded barrel if you have a suppressor, if you're in a state that you can have a suppressor. I don't have a 9mm suppressor, so I don't need a threaded barrel right now. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. Let me know down below what you think of the modifications on this gun. 10,000 rounds through the gun is a decent amount. I do really enjoy this gun. I thought this was gonna step it up to the next level. It doesn't, so that modification is probably gonna go bye-bye. So I am gonna shut up now. If you do want to support the channel anyway, use the Amazon links down below. Helps the channel out, helps me out, helps you out, helps all of us out. We could maybe get some money to shoot some more stuff in the desert. I do have a few more guns I do want to actually do an actual review on, since this isn't really a review on this gun because it's just so modified at this point. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave your comments down below, share the video if you want, if you have a friend with the M&P 2.0 or whatever. And follow me on Instagram right here once again, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay strapped or get clapped.